Good morning. This is Attorney Karen Jimeno. It's Holy Tuesday. In commemoration of Holy Week, a principal of the long-running and critically acclaimed stage play, Martir sa Golgota, will join us here at the forefront. As the Lenten season unfolds in the predominantly Catholic Philippines, the streets of Santa Ana, Manila is expected to come alive again with Martir sa Golgota, a powerful retelling of Jesus Christ's Passion. Directed by veteran actor and Manila City Councilor Veloso, headlined by singer-actor Lance Raymundo, the long-running stage play is a free public spectacle, drawing thousands of faithfuls. Since the play's beginnings in 1954, it has grown into a cherished tradition that blends faith and theater. In today's digital world, how does the sacred performance continue to stir hearts and deepen devotion among Filipinos? We're joined by no less than the very handsome actor, singer, and international host who plays Jesus Christ in Martir sa Golgota, Lance Raymundo. Good morning, Lance.
Good morning, Attorney Karen, and good morning to all the viewers of The Forefront.
So let's start first with you personally as an actor.
Yes.
How did you go into acting?
Well, I come from a showbiz family. My mom was a beauty queen in the 60s, and she became a movie actress, si Nina Zaldúa.
Nina Zaldúa.
Yes,
okay.
and my brother
This was
is...
in what era?
This was the 60s.
60s, okay.
Yeah,
I'll look
before
for
she met my
films.
dad.
Okay, and then your dad is...
My dad, he was a movie producer, Nilo Raymundo, and my brother, of course, is Rani Raymundo, the OPM icon. So it just came naturally. One day I decided to sing. It was easy, but then I think my calling is really acting.
By any chance, are you also related to Ina Raymundo, who's also an actress?
Yes, she's a distant relative, and our fathers know each other, so she might be a third cousin.
Okay. Ang galing nga, talagang it's in your DNA.
Yes.
And your brother, Rani Raymundo, as you mentioned, is a singer. Do you also sing? Sino sa inyo na una maging singer?
Si Kuya talaga. He had it really big in the 90s because of Why Can't It Be? That's his monster hit. That's covered like more than 100 times by different singers. Then growing up, he was my idol, of course, and I wanted to be like him. So as a teenager, pumasok ako sa Viva Records, and then I became a singer. But in 2008, si Charlotte Dianco, who's a head writer of GMA, she discovered my acting skills, and then she pushed me towards acting, and I became an actor since then.
So what are some of the movies that is your personal favorite? Movies that you
Yes.
had to act in?
Of course, Fidel, that's my first starring role. It's about an OFW who was in death row abroad. It's based on true-to-life incidents. And I also am very thankful for being part of the last movie of the great Mario O'Hara, ang Paglilitis ni Josh Bonifacio, where I played Emilio Aguinaldo.
Oh, wow. So a lot of really big roles that you've had in the past. And before we go to Martir sa Golgota, I'm curious because you're the first Filipino to host an international
Yes,
Miss Universe.
yes.
How did that happen?
Well, I started out hosting Miss Teen International Philippines. And then, you know how everything is online now. Miss Teen International mismo saw me and decided that they wanted me to host the main pageant in Cambodia. So that was Miss Teen International 2023. And it's like a chain reaction because of word of mouth. 2024, Miss Teen Universe got me. And I hosted in Colombia, Barranquilla, Colombia. And I think that was it because
You're, I think, the other Filipino I know who's been to Barranquilla. I've been there
Yes.
before, years ago, but for a wedding. But for you, talagang pinadala ka doon to host.
yes,
That
Miss
makes us
Teen
proud.
Universe. And then
Yeah.
napanood ng Glamanond, owned by Nikhil Anand, which is the current, they're the national director for Miss Universe India. They saw me, reached out, and then they flew me all the way to Jaipur.
Ang galing. So what was that experience like? You were the only Filipino.
Well, I felt really proud bilang Pinoy because I'm carrying our reputation and also to showcase the world, to the world our skills, diba, as Filipinos. Na we're not just actors, athletes, singers, but also hosts. So hopefully it opens doors for more Pinoys to be recognized abroad in this field.
Yeah. Have they told you if they want you back for the next Miss Universe India?
So far, what I have in line is Miss Teen Earth, which will be held in India also, and this coming June, and Miss Teen Global in Brazil this coming November. So hopefully they get me again.
Yeah,
we'll
pero
never know.
galing, ah. So you're really an international host
Yes.
now. You go all over the world just to host. How did you end up in Martir sa Golgota? Because you're an actor in films.
Yes.
And usually the people who go to stage plays are theater actors. How did you end up in this
It's
role?
like this. It's because of film also. I was lining up more than 8 hours for this big movie. It was finally my turn, and all of a sudden, Veloso was searching for Jesus Christ because in 2014 he wanted to revive it and get someone from showbiz. He spotted me from afar, and we had a common friend because he didn't know me personally back then. This guy approached me and said, Veloso is over there, and he wants you to be Jesus. And I'm Catholic, and for me, it's like the biggest way of giving back because God gave me a lot of talent. And in playing Jesus, I will be able to use the talent he gave me to spread this good word, diba? And I gave up my slot. I was like, this
You
movie,
gave up your slot in a
for
movie.
that film. I was like,
Yeah.
konti na lang eh. But this movies could come anytime. But in this world, ilan lang yung tao who's gonna be given the chance to play Jesus, diba?
Yeah.
So
But
I-
hindi ka nag-concern na the time that the movie will have more reach because, it's going to be out in movie theaters, whereas stage play, it's kind of limited as to how many
Yeah.
people can fit in the theater.
Yeah, it's a
right?
great question because para sa akin, if you're able to really give your best, especially this kind of play, because this is, it's like also evangelizing, diba?
Yeah.
Even if you have 100 people, but if you really give your heart and soul, this one person will go home and tell her mom, her dad, the mom and dad will tell their friends, and next thing you know, it reached a multitude.
Yeah. So at that time, 2014, you
Yes.
decided to give up your role in a movie to be part of this
Yeah.
play. What happened?
Yeah, because first of all, I didn't do this as an actor. To me, it's not a job. I did it as a Catholic. And I was preparing. I was rehearsing every night for like more than 2 months. And sabi ko, itodo ko na. I already felt the character, but I wanted to look like the character.
So
Well,
nagpahaba ka ng hair at that time?
Not really,
Or what
but
did
then
you do
Jesus
to-
kasi is known for having this manual laborer's body, di ba? And I work out in an air-conditioned gym, so it's not gonna give me that body. I was like, I'm gonna give my all na. So I decided to simplify my life. I went to this Bakal gym,
Okay.
and I told the trainer, I was like, you see that cross na? Gusto ko maging ganyan. And I have like 2 or 3 weeks. I was like, let's call this the Calvary workout. The very first workout session was when I had my accident.
What happened in that
So
accident?
I was laying down, I was doing flies. I had 2 dumbbells, very light. I was just doing this. And we had some weights, kasi di ba smaller gyms are more cramped up.
Yeah.
And the coach was pretty excited to be coaching an actor. Parang he was talking to his friends, hey, look who's here, look who's here. Tapos accidentally, natisod siya, and a 105-pound barbell above my head fell on my face.
Oh my God.
And it was so bad, like the whole bar drove through my face. So like my left eye got embedded into my skull.
Oh my God.
It's a near-death experience.
Did you lose your eyesight because of that accident?
I did, this eye. And I was on the brink of death because every few minutes I would literally shoot out of my body.
What does that mean, to shoot out of your body?
Like when you die, But I was just fighting back. I was like, no, my mom and dad are gonna be heartbroken if I die. So I just kept on trying to stay alive.
This was in the hospital. When
Being
you
rushed
were...
from the gym to the hospital, I was really holding on to life. Because as a son, I think the biggest heartbreak is for the parent to see their son no longer alive. I was like, I feel like I'm dying, but I'm gonna hold on para lang for my mom and dad to have the comfort of seeing me. But the most important thing that I think I'm grateful I was inspired to do is the guy that accidentally dropped it. I called for him and I gave him my sincere forgiveness.
That must be so hard to do. But so when you were going from the accident in the gym to the hospital,
Yes.
you really experienced the out-of-body
Yes,
experience.
yes.
So that really happens pala when you're
It really
close to
happens.
death?
Yeah.
Where you
And-
can kind
yeah,
of
and
feel
you know what?
yourself, but you knew you were dying?
It's hard to explain the physical pain that I was experiencing at that moment. But every time I shoot out, I only feel bliss and comfort. So if I didn't have anyone I was worried about, I would probably just choose that. Kasi nga, whenever I get back to my body, I feel the pain again. Pero my love for them made me hang on, and I'm happy I did.
Oh
We're
my
still
goodness.
here.
But imagine, so in the hospital, how long were you in critical condition?
I was in critical condition, literally like, just like one phase away from death for 2 days.
And you said that you called for the person who dropped
Yeah.
the barbell in your face.
That saved
what
me.
was that experience like?
That saved me. You know, the doctors are wondering kung bakit di ako namatay from extreme blood loss. Yun pala, I think, or I believe that when I forgave him and just let go of all the earthly, shackles of anger or revenge, I was so calm na pati daloy ng dugo ko became so smooth. Like, kaya my healing took 7 days.
7 days? That's amazing.
Yes.
And then, how did they reconstruct your face? Because you said talagang
Yeah.
nasira yung face mo, pumasok yung eyeball mo into your skull.
Titanium and the works. I didn't have an aesthetic surgeon. I had an ENT. Kasi for me, di ko na inisip if I will look good or not. Because I was just grateful to be alive. And I was raised by my parents believing na, this doesn't measure our humanity. So when I lost my face, I lost my ability to see in one eye, I felt solid pa rin. I was telling myself, like, I'm not less human because of this. And I could live, just the same quality of life. I could be a lawyer. I could be anything that I want to be. I mean, you're not going to get me just because of my face, diba? So, tinanggap ko na siya. So I told the doctor, when you install all these things, just think about saving my life. And it came out looking natural because wala silang pressure to make me look good or anything. So I guess it pays off na ganun yung, I didn't pressure the doctors.
That's an incredible way to approach it. How old were you at that time?
I was in my 20s, so still young, but yun nga, thank you, Mom. And my dad is no longer with us, but I'm really grateful. And Rani for being such wonderful mentors sa akin growing up because yung mga mas mahalaga is, what I hold on to.
Yeah, but that's such a mature way of looking at things.
Yeah.
And I think just for people watching right now, it's a very inspiring story, especially for young generations,
Yes.
because now with social media, we're always focused on looking good.
Yeah.
And then we get a lot of gratification from aesthetics, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
Likes
the,
and then,
likes, and then there's always so much pressure to be good looking. And just to hear this from you is super inspiring. And from that time, since 2014 nga, like, dapat yun yung role mo, and you were, 3 weeks away from your
Yes.
role that you practiced for? Sino bigla yung nag-play
Yeah,
ng
thankfully,
Jesus?
this actor, brilliant actor, Giorgio Reguera, played Jesus previously. So they got him last minute and he did a great job because I was able to watch pa.
You watched pa? Ang galing.
Yeah.
At the time, did you feel any resentment or did you question God for that accident because you were preparing and the reason why you were in that situation was because you prepared for the role of Jesus Christ? And
Yes,
then, yan pa yung nangyari sa'yo. Hindi mo ba iniisip that time na, why God? I could have been in a movie role right
Yeah.
now.
Well, I grew up kasi believing na kung anong ibigay sa'yo ng mundo is part of your story. So the question I asked was not, why did you do this to me? More of like, what's my responsibility in this world? Kasi He made me survive eh. So what story do I have to share? What is this for? It's not why na galit. It's more of like, how can I be of service that you made me survive this?
And the person who accidentally dropped the barbell in your face,
Yeah.
what did he tell you when you forgave him? The guilt must have been also
Yeah.
very heavy for him.
Actually, I was still in my deathbed eh, kasi critical ako nun. Naisip ko pa siya kasi while he was training me, we spent just a few days together. He was talking to me about having one kid, raising that kid on his own, ganun. Parang I had an instinct to check, so pinatawag ko yung gym. I found out that they fired him. Then I told the owner, I was like, hey, balata mo na lang sa akin, give the guy his job back, because who wants to trip, you know? And you know, the power of forgiveness and, you know, dealing with negativity with positivity is everybody wins. Kasi nga, the guy got so inspired by being forgiven. He doubled his effort in his job. He became so good that Korea imported him. And he's now an international trainer para sa mga SEA Games athletes.
Amazing. So, in your case, it really seems like everything happened for a reason.
Yeah.
But sa face mo, paano nila na-restore ng ganyan? Walang implants? Nothing?
Well, it's puro bakal to actually. But then, I think yung pagkakakalmado ng doctor made me look natural. And they didn't know what to expect. Kasi I signed a waiver na if I wake up, you know, looking really, really wrong, physically and human standards, sabi ko, I won't sue you kasi I just want to be alive. So when they were opening na I wasn't expecting anything. Tapos ito yung lumabas. I was like, whew, high five! Gusto ko to!
How does your face, you're very good looking.
Yeah.
So right now, how does this compare to your old face?
I used to have the face of a villain.
Okay.
Because that used to be very matapang. So yung mga roles ko dati were always, you know,
Oo.
Yeah,
So ngayon, it opened more opportunities for non-villain roles.
Yeah, and
But kung kinuha ka as Jesus Christ, baka may softness din sa face mo.
I think he got me more for my spirit. Like, he probably felt that I had what it takes spiritually and emotionally to play the role. Kasi no one really knows naman what Jesus looks like. But then, yun nga, whatever God gave me, nagagamit ko rin. Because as part of my gratitude na nabalik ako sa, you know, like back on my feet, I've been going around the country talking to people about resilience, about the power of forgiveness, and also, you know, when you lose something, life doesn't end there. It's acceptance, it's moving on. And I think we have saved a lot of lives.
Yeah, what an inspiring story.
Yeah.
But on the side, when you go through airport security, kailangan mo i-declare that. They usually ask, right? Do you have a pacemaker? Or so
There
now
are
for you,
some
since you have all
countries
metal, do you
na
have to tell
I make a
them?
buzzing sound. So I used to have a certificate, but I think lately parang iba na yung sensors that they know what's medical. So I don't make buzzing sounds anymore. But I think I did in Colombia.
What an adventure. But we're so curious to see. Sana meron tayo dito nung old photos mo, no? But you're saying that right now, your face looks the same, pero
A little different. It became a challenge for the casters because some people who knew me back in my first version 1 era would cast me for movies thinking I look like that. Tapos pagdating ko sa set, I no longer am applicable for the role. So they're like, oh, sorry, but you have to go home. But now they know na because I'm pretty much, you know, back on TV.
So this is Lance 2.0.
Yes.
And talking about Martir sa Golgota, so you missed that opportunity in 2014. When did you go back to play the role of Jesus Christ?
2015, after experiencing a lot of pain, see, Jesus healed the blind, Jesus healed the bleeding. I experienced being all that. So it made it easier for me to embody yung buong kwento talaga. So I think it's part of my journey. And if I had it, if they told me if I could like get back into 2014 and if I could dodge that incident, I won't.
You won't?
I will not.
Despite the suffering?
No.
And then, oh my goodness, that's really something to say. If you said that you would go through it again, if you had, and you already have this hindsight.
May I have 30 seconds for a quick kwento about this? When I survived, I was in Starbucks one time. I met this colleague from show business. I just said hi to him. He was going home. All of a sudden, he came back. And then he gave me a bear hug. He's like, brother, I was going home because I was ready gonna commit suicide. And I saw you. All of a sudden, napahiya ako sa Diyos na you lost everything, but you're still alive. He's like, thank you. I'm gonna stay alive. So imagine saving people.
That incident, he was already thinking of committing suicide that day.
By God's grace, he saw me. I wasn't thirsty, but something told me, buy coffee. So I went. Yun pala, that saved his life. So for me, that makes all the pain worth it. Kasi you don't know what people are going through. And for them to see someone who's just like them, I mean, I'm no saint, I'm a regular guy. But then I survived, so why can't they? So that's why I'm not gonna judge it.
You would still go through that
Of
same
course, it's
suffering
a gift.
and
It's a
accident.
gift and a privilege.
Would you say that prior to this, it sounds like you were already religious as
Always,
a Catholic.
always.
You were going to play this role. You gave up a movie role
Yes.
just to be Jesus Christ in Martir sa Golgota. But then you went through this accident. Would you say that that accident made you even more religious?
More responsible. Kasi right now, I'm a voice, I'm a beacon of hope, especially for kids. So, you know, as a young person, there's always the temptation to, you know, do some adventurous, fun, crazy things. Pero why exchange this responsibility just for, like, you know, being part of the clique or something? So I saw to it na lang to stay this way for the rest of my life.
With Martir sa Golgota, it sounds like you did a lot of research into the role
Yes.
and the story. Did you know that this started in 1954? The
Yes.
first screening was Martir sa Golgota in the Manila Grand Opera House.
Yes, yes.
Did you see any difference from how it was portrayed back then compared to what Lou Veloso was doing by the time you were playing the role
Kasi
in 2015?
imagine, di ba, it's the same kwento every year. But this is a living kwento eh. So as the world progresses, the way it's told changes as time changes also. Without changing the script, without changing the movements. Depending on the situation of life, nag-iiba yung kwento every year.
Paano nag-iiba?
Like even me as an actor, I mean, I've played him 6 times. But there's nothing identical, even if I'm saying the very same line, we don't ad-lib here. Kasi iba rin yung estado ko sa buhay every year.
So you put that experience
Yeah,
in.
so the more you understand life, sometimes you experience pain. There are years na you experience a lot of success. And I think, I mean, every year, I don't play him every year. And I never present myself. I wait for them to call. Kasi ako, if he calls me, he's a messenger of God calling me to play the role. So nothing changes literally eh. Pero like I've watched also on YouTube, iba-iba. So the meaning changes. Like when you read the Bible, diba? You read the same verse every day, but it hits you differently.
Yeah, because of the circumstance you're in. So when you play Martir sa Golgota, when you say that it changes all the time and the way you deliver it changes as well, is that what they call improvisation in theater? Or is that a different thing?
Oh, I don't know enough about theater to know what improvisation really means because I'm a guest from TV. But I think more of giving your heart into the project kasi iba yung puso na nilalabas. Even the way you say your lines will
Can
sound
you
different.
give us an example of a line from Martir sa Golgota wherein it doesn't have to be your favorite, but just to get to your point, like where you can say it this way in 2015, but then you noticed when you played it again, yung pag-deliver mo nag-iba?
Well, yung parte na sinabi niya, Ama, bakit mo ako pinabayaan? When you're younger, feeling mo literal na Jesus telling the Father, like, will you abandon me? Why'd you leave me? But now na you experience life, di ba minsan we have problems? But when you're more mature, pag mas wide na yung pag-iisip mo, you're no longer gonna think na ginawa yan ng Ama because He forgot you eh. Sometimes He gives you things to make you grow stronger and more effective eventually. So, na ngayon, when I say it, it's more with the same, slight gratitude, so it changes talaga.
Yeah, and I guess coming from that accident, at some point, did you also say that?
Ibang-iba. Actually, yung atake ko dapat nung 2014, na hindi ko naman nagawa, never ko nang nagawa because I did it 2015 after everything, and I guess that's the proper way.
Yeah, so 2014, you would have had said it, what, with a point of view na
like a TV
pinabaya-
actor.
Like a TV actor. And then by 2015 talagang yung feelings mo, it's really someone who went through
Yes.
all the suffering and asking that to God, but also understanding His wisdom.
Yeah. And it's not much about the tears anymore nowadays. It's more of making the audience feel kung anong nasa puso mo.
With Direct Lou Veloso, nakita niya ba yung difference mo? I mean, because when you played it 2015, you were an actor who went through all that suffering.
Yes.
Nasabi niya ba sa'yo na may pagkakaiba ka dun sa actor that played it in 2014?
And until now, I'm still a student. I'm still growing. Like yung pinaka-last song, Bayan Ko yung title. This year, sabi nila, mas nakikwento ko daw yung song. And this year, I wasn't even doing any special voice techniques. Eh yung una kong time to sing it, I was singing it like a pop star.
Ah, talaga?
So, parang mas focus ko is the belting, ganun. Ngayon, mas focus ko na is yung pagkwento. Kasi the lines are very meaningful pala talaga.
Yung bayan.
Dati kasi inaaral ko yung notes. Ngayon, inaaral ko yung mensahe. So, it really changes every year. It's really an exciting journey.
Yeah, and you're still playing Jesus Christ this year.
Yes.
Is there going to be anything different from the way you deliver Bayan Ko? That's a song,
Yeah.
right, in the end? Considering we're nearing elections, and
Yeah,
I think
yun
the
nga.
lyrics really are more
That's
relevant
true.
lalo.
That's why I say nga, it depends sa circumstance. Last year I did it, wala namang election. So iba rin mindset natin. But now we have all these, issues. So we're more concerned about things. And pwede mong ilabas yun through display and through the messages because we have some sentiments. So that bilang Filipino comes out din sa lahat ng artista, even the chorus.
What's your most memorable experience in staging Martir sa Golgota? But before you answer that question, Lance, we'll have to take a short break. At the Forefront, we'll be right back. Welcome back at the Forefront. Lance, what was your most memorable experience in playing Jesus Christ at Martir sa Golgota?
Well, the first time that I was physically, parang lifted sa cross. Kasi the cross is like a few meters above. And although, of course, everything is staged, pati yung pako, but to be there, it was such a privilege. Kasi we're embodying what Jesus went through. He went through all the suffering out of love, diba, to save humanity. And for me to even portray it man lang, it's a gift and a privilege. So the first time I was there, seeing all the people with tears, and not looking at me anymore as Lance Raymundo, but being reminded of kung anong ginawa ni Cristo sa kanila, ang laki ng pasasalamat ko talaga kay God na I'm able to do this and inspire people.
So you find
And
it to be
difficult.
an honor to
It was painful.
play.
Yeah.
Painful din
And
siya.
difficult.
To
I
be
know. I mean, nakaganyan
the
ako.
cross.
Tapos ang bigat ng cruise. Pero I was like, this is nothing. Kumbaga, siguro ganyan lang kay Cristo yan, di ba? So I was really grateful for that. It was very surreal for me as an actor.
Maraming nanonood. Like, the audience, what is your estimate?
Probably
of how
close
many?
to 1,000 then.
Oh, wow, marami. And you said talaga naiiyak sila. So,
Yeah.
they really get into the
Yeah.
story.
And once they forget that I'm Lance Raymundo, once they forget na, it means we're doing our job. Because our job is to spread the good word of God through our gifts of acting and singing.
Martir sa Golgota is all about the life and passion of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
But how is this different from the other cenaculos that are also out there, that are being shown?
We actually talk about Jesus from his birth. But then si Lou has a brilliant way of showing it. Like, nandito ako as an adult, and we have some actors walking in front with a baby. That's also my character. So hindi siya yung passion lang. It's from the birth of Christ, from until growing up, and there's scenes also yung when he was still a teenager, nahanap siya sa temple. Lahat yun covered in 2 hours.
Wow, so binago niya ng konti yung the way it's delivered. Like you said kanina, walang binago sa mga lines, but the way he presented it.
Yeah.
It's Lou's own
Yeah.
innovation to have scenes from the childhood
Yeah.
and teenage years of
Na
Jesus.
naka-intercut siya with the present. Galing talaga. And plus the fact that I'm playing Jesus looking like this.
Yeah.
I mean, no wig.
Wala
no
kang,
facial
hindi
hair.
ka nagpapahaba ng hair
Yeah.
for this, or you don't grow a beard.
Depends eh. Kasi 2017, I was in a movie na long hair ako. That was my only time to play him with long hair and literally looking like Christ. But last year naman, I forgot what I was filming, but I kind of looked like a surfer. I had I had wavy hair na ganyan. And now I look like, I don't know, a boy next door. But
Yeah, and you're still playing Jesus this
as
year.
this, yes. As
With this look.
Yeah.
Oo nga, hindi ka mukha Jesus.
No.
But I guess that's where your acting will be tested,
Yeah.
right? If you can play the role looking like this, but then have people suddenly see you as Jesus Christ.
Kasi Jesus lives in all of us naman eh. So yun yung gusto rin ni Lou, na I don't have to look like him kasi binubuhay sa puso ng tao that Jesus lives within our hearts. So I think that's like the wisdom behind allowing me to look this way.
And this is outdoors
Yeah.
in Santa Ana.
It's
Parang
gonna
ang
be-
init-init ngayon. Hindi kayo nahihirapan.
Kasama na sa penitensya yun.
Hindi pinapawisan kayo
Mahirap.
habang nagpe-play.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And this also showed in CCP
Ayan no,
before.
di ba, surfer ako.
Oo nga, nag-iiba-iba. So this was in CCP also?
Meron
Tama
CCP
ba?
run, but this year it's gonna be where it was born, which is Santa Ana. And it's very, yung parang maraming tao dito, and then the houses around the plaza, people are peering from the windows. Parang very,
Oo nga, that's really unique, no?
Yeah.
Parang talaga, it's raw in that sense,
Very
right?
raw, yeah.
Talagang right there, outdoors, and then you have very organic yung
yes.
makakanood from
But then
your
we
houses.
have like LED screens to make, so it's like a mixture of modern and
And-
classic.
You're not charging anything for this. How does the production sustain the actors and all the LED is so expensive? Paano fina-fund?
Oh, I don't know with Lou Veloso.
Lou was supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Sayang, he had an emergency, so suddenly he couldn't make it. But
Oo.
you were both supposed to sit there and talk about Martir sa Golgota.
I think naman kasi sa dami ng tao who've enjoyed this over the years, maybe people help the production. But then that's the reason bakit kami, we don't charge because we're doing this for tradition.
For tradition, and it
And religion.
seems like to really, as you said, bring the message of God to people.
Yes.
See, actress Gloria Romero played the Virgin Mary in the first version that
Yes.
when Martir sa Golgota was in the Manila Grand Opera House. And this supposedly catapulted her career. In your case, did you notice any effects in your career after you played Jesus in Martir sa Golgota?
Well, a lot of unexpected blessings came to me, not directly like sa acting, but yun nga, all of a sudden I'm hosting Miss Universe and all these, and now I'm back. I mean, it's hard to get back sa mainstream kung nawala ka, di ba? People are not very forgiving when there's absence. But now, like tomorrow, the showtime namin bukas, I'm coming straight from Antipolo shooting a teleserye. Luckily, my manager, Charlotte, maraming salamat, was able to talk to the channel to release me by 12 noon. So I've been very busy. So I didn't expect this, but it's just all gifts. Pero sa akin, the biggest gift of doing this is the fact that nakaka-inspire tayo ng tao.
That's very inspiring as
Yeah.
well, because with your story and how your journey through all of this, it is truly inspiring. Sa mga ibang kasama mo sa Martir sa Golgota, who are the other famous actors?
Well, I have worked with Ivy Violan before. She played the Virgin Mary, and Ced Torrecarrion from ABS-CBN played Pilot. Now we have Miggy Moreno, a very great actor, teen heartthrob of the 90s. He's playing the Pilot right now, but he also once played Jesus Christ. Kaya I'm so thankful, di ba? I mean, I'm borrowing the character na nga from him, and he's supporting me by playing the Pilot.
What about Matt Ranillo III? Did he really play Jesus Christ as well?
He did.
In what year?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Yeah.
This was before you.
Before me. Even Jao Mapa played Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Raymond Keanu, 90s actor. Giorgio Riguera. I'm filling in big shoes, kaya it's very humbling para sa akin.
So would you know if, since 1954, Martir sa Golgota has been shown, has been playing ever since then, every year?
I heard there was a gap for a couple of years, and also during the pandemic, of course. They were all sad. We were preparing for it na. Pandemic happened, but then I think if God wants it, palaging bumabalik naman, and nothing major could stop it. That's why we're back.
Okay. Was it Lou Veloso that revived this?
Yes.
Siya talaga yung may
Siya
idea.
talaga, yeah.
sayang hindi siya nakapunta dito today. But when he tried to convince you the first time to take on this role,
Yeah.
how did he describe Martir sa Golgota to you, his vision of it?
Oh, actually, all I heard was I'm playing Christ.
So talagang decided
that was
na
the
agad
man,
siya.
that was the that was like the sabi ko, oh, ako naman religious. I was like, wow.
Oo, walang
What
need.
an honor. And then dun pa lang niya in-explain after. Tapos dun ko pa lang nalaman na it's light musical. We have Ivy Violan, we have other, industry people. Ako, I didn't ask. I didn't even ask if I'll be paid. I just wanted to do it.
Ang galing. So you're not paid for the role?
No. Well, may mga allowance. But then, and of course, some people naman, they buy the show na. So like, one time we went to Tarlac to stage it. It was like a job. We got paid.
Okay.
Pero yung pinaka-classic na talagang nasa Holy Wednesday, no talaga, it's a gift. Alay namin lahat na artista for the production.
Ang bait nyo naman. And itong Wednesday, ito ba yung first, kailan siya mapapanood? For
Only
those
this
who are
Wednesday
listening?
for this year.
So this
That's
Wednesday
it.
lang siya
Yes.
in Santa Ana. What time?
Gonna be 7 p.m. at Plaza Hugo Santa Ana, free admission. Come early kasi talagang
Napupuno
crowded.
siya.
Yeah.
How many hours is this?
Around 2 hours lang.
2 hours?
Yeah.
But that's like a big production, 2 hours.
Big siya, big siya.
Oo. How long did you have to prepare for this? For the cast?
I
Yung
think
practices nyo?
Siguro mga 3 to 4 months. But I got on board 2 months ago.
2 months ago.
Yeah, but they've been preparing kasi may mga really intricate dance numbers with some ballet pa. It's a spectacle actually.
Ang galing. And with all that preparation, pati yung mga costumes, yung mga challenges yung napansin mo along the way? Because you've done this so many years
My
already.
biggest challenge,
Oo.
the loincloth.
Loincloth for you. Saka bawal ka tumaba, no?
Yeah, the loincloth.
Ang
Yeah.
hirap yun. Yeah, when you say loincloth, yung outfit mo. But in terms of the other things
It's a joke.
Yeah, I know. But I have to say, talagang mahirap siya kasi, the discipline it
Yeah.
takes for you, okay, you can't be eating too much because you're really gonna be out of character. Like
Yes.
if you're suddenly gaining weight, right?
Quick costume changes. We have literal split-second costume changes. It's gonna amaze people. Yeah, and I'm not gonna spoil it. We're doing something this year that's never been done before. So, ayun, o diba? Every
Oo.
year may changes. There's this really, parang talo pa Fashion Week sa bilis ng costume
Talaga?
change.
And considering that this is all going to be in Santa Ana, it's not even gonna be in a theater.
Yeah.
Paano yung mga areas where you do your costume change talagang
Inaayos talaga
inaayos
nila.
na lang
Like,
nila?
Santa Ana is transformed into Golgota. Basketball court yun kahapon. Pero maybe now they're still working as we speak. But tomorrow when I get there, they're gonna be transported to Golgota.
Amazing. Apart from Manila, where has this been shown?
Well, I had shows in Greenfield Garden District. That was awesome because it's like a valley. We also had in Greenfield Santa Rosa. We had it in CCP, the provinces. That is Sevilla Escudero, but that was before my time. And also at somewhere in Manila. Basta, I forgot what you call it.
Sa iba-ibang provinces, nadadala nyo rin to.
Yeah. I think
Tarlac, I heard, is
I
a
reached
place.
some far place before, but hindi ko maalala exactly. But yeah, we traveled.
Okay. And I just heard that it's also going to be shown in Tarlac today.
By someone else.
Iba na yon.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other productions, it's also being shown Martir sa Golgota, pero may mga ibang nagpo-produce.
Yeah, and I'm inviting everyone to watch all productions. Kasi every production have the same intention as we do naman, which is to share the good word of God. So it's not a competition. If you could watch us all, go please.
Do you see any young actors today that you think would also fit this role?
Meron.
Meron. Sino in your opinion?
Well, I'm not talking about showbiz, pero
Yeah.
sa mga chorus namin, I see some kids. I was like, you're gonna step on my shoes someday.
Talaga?
Kasi you
get to
could
see-
feel the passion and the sincerity. So, and I want them. Kasi community play to eh. So I want to see nga one day na walang guest, na talagang lahat sila because they're all really great actors.
And in your opinion, you were someone who also had to suddenly not play. I mean, you were preparing for the role in 2014, tapos nagka-accident ka. May understudy ka ba para pag merong contingency, hindi biglang mawawalan ng...
Wala
especially Jesus, very...
Wala. Pero there was one year that both me and Miggy, kasi some years have a lot of shows, minsan isa lang. We were sharing the character. So, I'd rehearse today, siya bukas. So, hinati namin. I think tig-dalawa kaming shows.
So, mayroong years pala na it runs more than once.
Yeah. But understudy, I never had. So, bawal lang mahulugan ng barbell.
Oo nga, grabe. But wala bang discussions on having this available online, like in streaming platforms, like Netflix? Because
Sana nga. Sana someday.
So wala pang discussions on
Wala
that?
pa. And sana, I hope to be a part of it. That would be a great, Because we can't do this forever naman. Pero I hope before I exit, we're able to do something like that.
How do you want Martir sa Golgota to touch the hearts and minds of today's youth? But before you answer that question, we'll have to take a short break. At the Forefront, we'll be right back.
Thanks.
Welcome back at the Forefront. Lance, how do you want Martir sa Golgota to touch the hearts and minds of today's youth?
Well, I want them to go back to having that feeling na being God-fearing, God-loving doesn't make them less cool. Kasi a lot of kids now, kahit na religious sila sa bahay, they try to pretend just to please their friends. Pero ako, I mean, I'm an actor. I'm famous in social media for like being on the beach and all. But I'm not shy to pag Holy Week, because embrace it eh. That's our faith eh. So I want them all to know. And also, family values. Gusto kong ibalik sa mga bata din. And of course, honoring their parents. It's all part of the kwento. At my age, pag lumalampas na ako ng 12 midnight, I still text my mom that I'm okay. Because I don't want her to worry. So simple things like this, I want the play to touch kids' lives so they grow up naman, making the Philippines a better place also.
2023, there was a study that came out that 78% of Filipinos are Catholics.
Yes.
But would you say that right now, what you see, especially with the younger generation, is that they're less religious?
Yeah. And it's not even about religion because I respect every religion and all religion are there to bring out the best in you, diba? But the problem is now, they're not embracing any religion anymore or any faith. Kasi yung mga bata ngayon think it's more nakaka-Gen Z or nakaka-cool to just believe in yourself.
Do you think social media has a role to play in this?
Yes.
In what way?
Because a lot of famous people, celebrities, Hollywood celebrities most especially, are always talking about just believing in rocks, than a higher being, So, impluensya yan. Pero I think the reason why the universe still allows these things to happen, yung mga may sinakulo, is because the universe still wants what's best for people. And nagagamit kami bilang instrumento in making people like go back home kung saan ang tama.
In Germany, there's this passion play, Obergamo, where it's only once every 10 years and the community really prepares for that ahead every 10 years. And they try to make it as authentic as possible. They even grow their hair, pero members of the community yung nagpe-play. You mentioned kanina that Martir sa Golgota is also like a community
It
play.
is.
In what sense siya community?
Well, actually, ito talaga, this is the heart of Santa Ana. So, kasama sa play namin, we have tricycle drivers, may mga teachers, we have vendors, lahat sila. Leaving their
talagang-
day jobs
Oo.
to be, stars for the night. Telling the
Talagang
story
kasama
of
niyo sila
Christ
mag-practice?
every night.
Oo.
And walang artista dyan. I mean, I'm not Lance with them. I'm their brother. I'm their friend. Kaya nga, it's a very beautiful experience. Kaya nga someday, sabi ko nga, I hope someday, isa sa kanila will be Jesus.
Pagka sumasama sila sa play, do they have to audition? Or
Yes,
how do...
of course.
nag-audition pa rin?
Kasi quality comes first pa din. And so what we have, I think, they're like the best of the best. And they really are great. Wait, can I mention din pala before we, Sheila Parducho is playing the Virgin Mary. She's a great singer. Arkin De Silva is playing Judas. Si Carl is playing Herod. Junior Labrador is part of it. Miggy Moreno, the pilot. And I hope I didn't forget anyone. But yeah, I just wanted to credit everyone.
Yeah, talagang marami rin kayong sikat na kasama sa
Yes.
cast. But I really love the part that you have members of the community, pati mga tindera from Santa Ana,
Oo.
na kasama ninyo.
Ang gaganda ng mga voice.
Maganda yung mga
Yes.
voice. Can you give us an example from the play? Like a song, like sing us a few lines, whether it's Bayan Ko or
Yeah.
any part of the
Alright.
Martiers.
Iisa lang ang bayan mo, dapat mo tong mahalin. Ituwid ang baluktot, guloy iyong ayusin.
Bagay na bagay
Yeah.
na for the upcoming
Yeah, diba?
elections. Oo.
Ito pa, huwag sayangin ang buhay na binuwis ng mga bayani.
Oo nga. Very, very
Yeah.
appropriate at this time. But it's amazing that this is what, already, how old is this play? Mga over 2025, over 50 years old
Yeah.
na, no? And yet, the lyrics, the lines are still super relevant
Yeah.
to today.
Like dati, pandemic, iba din yung tama ng kwento. Ngayon, elections, iba din, di ba? Dati we had all these crimes happening, so it really changes every year.
In terms of spreading the word about Martir sa Golgota, do you also see that the younger generations find appeal to this? Because it's quite different from what they're used to in
Yeah.
terms of entertainment online. Yung mga nakikita nila sa TikTok, iba eh. This is still a classic.
Well, it helps nga minsan may mga guests na artista. And I think, the fact that I'm not alienating them with the look. I'm not, I don't look like what's on their walls. makes it easier for kids to also identify. So, Veloso has his ways of reaching out. And it's always effective kasi when we open, we see a multitude of people of all ages and a lot of kids watching. Tsaka during rehearsals, nakakatuwa din, we have 14-year-old kids, 5-year-old, they're all watching talaga. Parang they're all interested.
That's great. So would you say that in your observation, yung audience, yung hindi lang matatanda, pati bata?
No. A lot of kids talaga, which is surprising.
That's very good. At least values, sana ma-impart sa kanila, no, yung mga magagandang values from this play. Could you now invite people to go out and watch Martir sa Golgota?
Okay, I'm inviting everybody to experience Martir sa Golgota bukas na at 7 p.m. at Plaza Hugo, Santa Ana. Free admission and one night only, so don't miss your chance.
Ang pinaka-importante dun, it's for free. How
Yes.
wonderful, no? What a treat to everyone. Thank you so much again, Lance Raymundo.
Thank you, attorney.
And thank you for sharing with us your inspiring story. Martir sa Golgota stands as a moving reminder of faith, sacrifice, and community tradition. Through the passion and purpose of Direk Lou Veloso and actor Lance Raymundo, the streets of Santa Ana are once again transformed into a living stage. Their devotion proves that storytelling, when rooted in faith, can touch generations. Please go and catch Martir sa Golgota this Holy Week, starting tomorrow, Wednesday. Be timely informed, be insightful of the news. Always stay at the forefront. Join us again tomorrow for meaningful conversations that would give you insights on key issues in our society. This is Attorney Karen Jimeno. Thank you for spending your hour with us.